All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. You already know Coffee with Charlie, where we sip the finest coffee and have the dopest conversations. We got a special guest for you guys today, man. Saw his virality on social media, looked into it, did my research, and was like, I feel like we got to bring him up here to have a great conversation. So today's guest is a true OG and community pillar. He's deeply involved in East New York, serving on local community boards, advocating for youth, violence prevention, and civic engagement, and showing up consistently for the people. His leadership and impact have earned congressional recognition, not for talk, but for real work on the ground. He pushes conversations around unity, accountability, and mental health in the Black community, using his voice to guide the next generation toward a better path. This episode, Hero of My Story, is about leadership, responsibility, and what it means to stand on experience while building something bigger. Our special guest today, OG, Mandu Warrior.
Peace. I love that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that intro. That was fire. Thanks.
So let's start off with a mental health check. How are you feeling today?
On today I'm an 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah, because I'm on the third day of my meds too.
Okay.
Yes, I just recently, I take care of my mental health. That's one. Just as well as I work out in the gym, mental health is very important for me because I suffer from PTSD, from prison traumatic stress disorder.
Right.
That's a whole thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're definitely
going I didn't know it was real until I got out here.
Wow.
You know what I'm trying to say? And that's when it surfaced. So I'm on the third days of my meds right now. So I feel like I'm on the 8.
Okay.
You know,
and I salute you for being transparent. I already prepped my audience. I call my audience the Cafe Club, and I told them that today we're going to be a sponge because we want to soak up all of the wisdom and all of the gems that you're here to drop off today. So by all means, we have a good amount of time, about an hour and a half. Take your time, elaborate. Coffee with Charlie is here to highlight your voice. So for the people who aren't familiar with Mandu Warrior, right? For those who are listening live, again, shout out to Party 101.9 FM. Let's paint them a picture, right? Let's take it to the beginning. Walk us through your childhood.
Oh, well, I'm a Brooklyn born. I'm 3 generations of Brooklyn born on both sides of my own family. From my mom and my dad, all of us, they parents and grandparents were born in Brooklyn. So I'm a Brooklynite all the way through and through. Born and raised in Brownsville, East New York. Those are the 2 main sections of Brooklyn that I was raised in before I went up going to prison. I went to prison at 19 and I came home at 54 years old. So all my 20s, all my 30s, all my 40s, all the way up to I was 54 years old, I was inside.
Wow.
So my childhood in the street was short, but it was crazy. It was live. I had a dope childhood until the crack era came. You know what I'm trying to say? When that came, that just fractionalized the house. So like while I was in prison, I read Michelle Alexander's book, The New Jim Crow. And when the part where they were saying how mass incarceration started in New York City, it was mostly guys and people from East New York and Brownsville. That was the biggest, the Bronx too, but particularly those 2 sections of Brooklyn where the most people that suffer from mass incarceration. You know what I mean? They were targeted, you know what I mean? Because the police, the precincts there were all dirty. Like they made movies on that. The entire movies and series off of the 75th and the 77th precinct. Those are legendary corrupt precincts there. In fact, my brother right now is doing time from one of the corrupt precincts who I represent, Baby Sam. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But however, I grew up in, old Brooklyn. When Brooklyn was still Brooklyn, you know what I mean? The people that lived here still look like me. I was familiar with them.
Right.
Not that I'm unfamiliar with the people that's here now. They're nice people, but still I'm old school Brooklyn though. So I had a great childhood, you know what I mean? I grew up in Brownsville with Mike Tyson and all of them, you know what I mean? Flying pigeons. I'm from that side, you know.
Right.
So my childhood going go cards, playing Cocolivio, these kids already know what I'm talking about, Skelly, hot peas and butters. I'm from that, you know what I mean? So I grew up in the 70s. The 70s was a fun time. It was rough, economically. That was the Reagan era, but I was too young. I was young. I wasn't into those things, and I was just being a kid, drawing, doing comic books, cartoons, taking care of my little brothers, you know what I mean? And then the crime, once I got into crime, like around 11 or 12, that was really serious, though. I started going to group homes, DFY, and then even when I come home, I would run away because I want to be back outside.
Yeah.
And I got 5 brothers and 1 sister and the 2 cousins that lived with us. They was raised with us with my mom and my step-pop, who was like my dad, So, so I would want to run away because I'm the oldest. So even when I wasn't locked up, I was either at the runaway house, you know what I mean, or hanging around with my friends in other states. I wouldn't mind. I don't mind just getting on the bus and just traveling. That's a Gemini. I mean, I got wings, so the wind blow me. I'm all over the place. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, so yeah, my childhood to me was fun, right? Because it's what helped me persevere through the 32 years that I just did in prison.
Right.
You know what I mean? That 19-year-old adventurous. You know, I didn't let prison is a monotony. Every day is the same thing. Nothing changes until you make it change. Though.
Right.
Right? Nothing changes like for nobody else, but for me and the people that I influence, we're gonna make them change today. In the morning, the administration's gonna wake up and they're gonna be completely different because I know which bargaining chip to use. Not that I recommend it for other people, but in prison, violence is the bargaining chip when you're dealing with the administration. Yeah. Because they draconian, they're very brutal. The only thing they respect is violence. So when me and my friends overwhelmed them with levels of violence that's unimaginable, then now we can sit at the table and we can talk. So the draconian systems that they got, we chipping that away from each incident until we don't have to do it no more. Like the box don't exist in prison no more. I did 16 years of solitary confinement. All right. My first 16 years in prison. So that's like a segue from my childhood. Like to go into details would be too long, but I had a dope childhood. I told you the games that I played. I was on the block, you know what I'm saying? Right. Not selling drugs. I was on the block before I got into crime.
Right. But let's rewind for a bit. I kind of want to hone in to something you said. You said that you were often running away from home. What was happening at home that basically pushed you out?
No, it wasn't nothing that at home. I mean, I grew up in a 2-parent household. So I had my father on deck. You know what I mean? He was my step pops. He'd been in my life since 17 until I ended up going to prison at 19. Yeah. And he passed away while I was doing the 32 years. You know, my mom and a few other people. But it wasn't, my house was a normal household. Both my parents worked. I'm the big brother. I'm watching all my siblings and them, feeding them and helping them with their homework. We had a healthy household. We had and it was enough room for all of us. There's 9 kids in there. There's 3 to a room. We wasn't all packed up on each other like that. Either if we lived in a tenement building, we had enough bedrooms there. We lived in a house or a brownstone. You know, so I grew up with both parents. So it wasn't things that was going on in my home. It's just the Gemini nature in me.
Yeah, made you.
Yeah, I just can't sit still. I can't sit still. I gotta be doing something. You know, and that's why prison was like for me, I would like to have traumatic stories because the things that I went through, of course, 16 years of solitary confinement, getting beaten into comas, getting riots all the time, the police constantly jumping on us. So those things are definitely being poisoned, you know, where you can't even trust, because I'm in the box and the police is bringing me food. I definitely eat nothing because they don't put feed in my food, and now I'm going to the bathroom every day, all day, sick. So you can't eat anything, but those definitely a traumatic story. That's where the PTSD come from after effect. But while I'm going through it, I don't feel nothing. Okay. It's all norm. Yeah. Right? Because I'm fighting back. I'm a warrior. My name ain't Mandu Warrior for no reason. I got tactics as well, and I'm fearless when it comes to my enemy. If I'm trying to say, I'm coming at you. And it's not just me alone. It's the level of influence I got. I got a major army, and there's more of us than there's you in here, too. We know that math is mathing, too. Right. So if all of us get down, and I don't care, if you can't shoot us all in the cell, you go to jail.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, you're going to have to get some weapons, and we're going to make some makeshift weapons, and then we're going to go barbarian here, right? But that's a bargaining chip because they don't want that all the time. Yeah. They don't want that. They don't want when you put not only the officer in threat, when you putting the staff in there with the library, the civilians that work in there is not going to be safe. Mm-hmm. Because if none of us going to be safe, you're just picking us off. And we're not even doing anything. I'm just talking about like they could come in, they could have a bad day with the wife at home and just come in there. There's no accountability in there. Right. You could come in, you see what happened to Robert Brooks? That was one of many. I was Robert Brooks dozens of times. That's what I protest for him. That's when I went to Albany and screamed and shouted till my voice got hoarse for Robert Brooks, watching him being beaten to death. I've been in that space in place dozens of times on the regular, especially when we was on Rikers Island. That was an everyday occurrence when they opened up the pound on Rikers Island. But I'm not here just to rehash the prison drama stories. I got a TV series for that. My therapy for what happened in prison is to write cartoon scripts telling prison stories in a humorous way. But just like comedians, we laugh at their pain. Right. We literally laugh. Every comedian, your favorite comedian, when you ain't laughing, if they wasn't telling it that way and they was sitting in front of a therapist, that is some traumatic shit. Seriously, we talk about from molestation to drug addiction to all types of levels of abuse. Your favorite comedian's pain is what we laugh at. We find entertainment, and so I took that pain that a comedian would do, right, and put some humor to it to make sense of it, right? Not to make light of the situation, but to make sense of it, because even in laughter you can find some truth, you know.
Absolutely, and I believe that's the Inside Out series that you're going to be rolling out, correct?
Yes, because I got so many prison stories, and I'm not talking about prison. Most of my prison rep is not. I had dozens of incidents with other prisoners, but when it got to the point where I was raised and trained by Black Panthers that were literally locked up in there. Herman Bell, Seth Hayes, they home now. You know what I mean? Jalil passed away, rest in peace. He died in there. But these are the Black Panther 21. They the New York 21. I'm locked up with these. I'm going to their classes. These are my mentors at first before I started facilitating my own classes that I was teaching in all the religions that I taught just for fun. Like I said, I got to break up the monotony. I taught everything from Christianity to Judaism to Rastafarian to Luciferian to Satanism, you name it. I taught it all for fun. Yeah. For fun, just to have some. I read all these things. I got into the exoteric and the esoteric natures of it. Sitting in the box 16 years, and my peers I need somebody to talk to about all this stuff I read. I'm gonna go crazy. I got all this information on my head, all in my mind. So I'm passing the literature to my peers, and they reading it, and what they don't understand, and I understand, and what I don't understand, and they may get it. The conversation starts. Right. You know what I mean? But the conversations are deep. We're not just having conversations of how much drugs we sold on the block, how many girls we slept with. But we ain't doing that. Because that's the norm. That's the normal prison conversation. That's all you hear all day. Right. Everybody was a big time drug dealer. Everybody had all type of Lexuses and Benz. I'm like, so where was the crackheads? Where's the junkies at? Because it seemed like everybody in here was getting money. Who was spending it? Right. That's the regular prison lingo. Those are the stories that you hear. But I make guys pick up books. Like you go all on the internet, all these guys that was in prison all these years, when they mention my name, they tell you, yo, I'm the one that, you know, put the knowledge in their brain, gave them something to think about, other than ignorance, right? And they took pride in that. I even had the Egyptian religion. I started the Egyptian religion in New York State Prison. That's why you could go there and worship Isis and Osiris now. I did that. For fun. Wow. Just because I seen the white boys running around with Thor hammer on them with a pagan hammer. And I said, hold up, that's not Christian, Muslim, or Jew. How you get that in the package room? They put in a petition, they got their Odinism, Thor religion in like I said on Math Show, in religion, and I did it just for fun. And plus I knew Odin was black. They didn't know that. I knew it, and I did it spitefully. I went through the whole 8 weeks course with them, and at the very last lesson, that's when I give them that the God they worship is a black man. Wow. I did that for correct.
The irony, right? The irony.
And they Aryan nation.
Right. But so, you know, I could see that, especially when you speak about teaching, right? You light up, you have a passion, you're a natural born leader. But prior to you being incarcerated at 19, what can you attribute, like what were your influences that shaped you into the man you are today? If you could like go back and reflect. Okay, well, like I told you, I grew up going in and out of the group homes and DFYs, right? And but when I got to adult prison, that's where the transition for me made. Okay. Somebody just recently asked me this question like 2 days ago too. When did I make the transition? At what point did that happen? And it was an old timer named Mo Zulu, right? I was 21 years old. I was in Clinton on long-term keep lock. And Mo Zulu was like, he walked like George Jefferson. He a little short, black, dark-skinned, bald-head old timer, and not all muscular, not just little like frail, but he mad wise. So the COs had killed a brother named Robert Johnson. I remember him because he got the same last name as mine. And they killed him. This is in 1992. Police beat him to death in Attica. And Mo Zulu, he's an old timer. Him and a bunch of other old timers, they turned up in Attica. So much so where they set the police booth on fire and everything. They was in the yard 3 days. So when they kicked them out of that jail, they sent them to Clinton with me. And like I said, I'm
20, 21 years old. I had a crew of young guys, all from my generation, called the Radical Ruffians.
Radical Ruffians.
Yeah, the Radical Ruffians. We were like a spinoff of the Black Panther Party. Because we wasn't officially Panthers, but we were reading Panther literature.
Yeah.
We reading George, Jonathan, you know what I mean, Huey, reading Blood in My Eyes, Soledad Brothers. We reading all of these things, Soledad Letters and stuff like this. So however, I got all my friends, we reading this revolutionary literature, so I started a crew called the Radical Ruffians because the Spanish guys had a crew called the Macheteros. And they like Spanish Black Panthers. They on some political prisoners, you know, they on Latin or Puerto Rican politics. So they really into it. So I wanted to match their energy with a bunch of young dudes that we on some political shit too. You ain't gonna be only one on some Puerto Rican, on some black liberation. So I want to match their energy because I just can't have these guys walking around like that and me and my people crashing out on each other. That's not gonna happen. That don't work well with me, right? So Zulu comes in and he's like, after they kicked him out of Attica, they sent him to Clinton. So he came in a little beat up, you know what I mean? That whole little busload that came in with him, they came in a little beat up because Attica beat him up and then sent him to another jail. So he's in there healing for about 3 or 4 days, but he's being observant. Remember, he's an old prison vet. So he has like maybe about 18 in at that time. I'm going on maybe 7 in at that time. No, hell no, I was 21, so I'm going on like 3 at that time. So he's being observant. So the 3 days that he in there healing from his beating from Attica, he hears me and all my crew on the gate for 3 days. This picture sitting in the cell with no property, and you just hearing all these young guys on the gate yelling all day, right? But I'm the popular one. I'm the one everybody yelling for. Yo, dude, what we gonna eat tonight? Yo, dude, we gonna send the beat now. Yo, dude, you going to the yard? Yo, dude, send this up. Yo, dude, I'm sending that down. All you hear is my name all day. So if you new to the jail, you observant, you gonna say, okay, this guy, man, dude, he's the bomb boss. This is the one that everybody, he's the popular guy here. So when he comes out, we go, the whole company, they got a big shower house. So we go to the shower house. So on our way coming back from the shower house, he so happened pulls up on the side of me. So I'm leading the front of the line. I got my whole crew behind me. So he pulls up on the side of me. He taps me. He was like, yo, young blood, let me have a word with you. So I'm engaging in conversation with him. But one of my homeboys behind me called me. Now, it's an old prison vet. I'm 3 years in. I don't know all the rules because I don't care about them. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm young and reckless. So when somebody, me and you having a conversation, I got to excuse myself. Right? I just can't just get to the person. I gotta say, excuse me, bro, and then check that. I didn't know all those etiquettes. I didn't know the prison etiquette like that. So when my homeboy called me, I just go ahead and address my homeboy. Yeah, we gonna do this, When I turned back to Mo Zulu, he snuffed me.
Oh, wow.
It's about this little, I'm 6'4", 250 pounds at this size at that time. 21 years old. He a little old man, like 5'7", maybe $150. Frail. So I dropped my bag, my shower bag with my shower gear there to get ready to pop on him. But the look he gave me, and it wasn't like a mean look, a sneering look, it was just a calm, peaceful look. Like if death's gonna take me, just, he got his shit off, like, if you're gonna do it, just do it, right? But I'm looking at him, and then the look that he gave me just froze me. And then he noticed that. He said, yo, pick your bag up. I picked my bag up. Now, mind you, my whole crew is salivating. They're ready to pop. All I got to do is swing, and this old man going to disappear. Ain't going to be nothing left of him. So when I picked my bag up, we all started walking. So everybody's silent. Mind you, it was a whole bunch of chatter prior to this. Now, on the way back to the block, everybody's quiet. So we get in the block for about 4 or 5 minutes after all the cells lock. The police do their rounds, they leave. So it's silence, dead silence. This is a huge block. It's like maybe 90 to 100 guys just on that side. So the police leave, so it's dead silence. So you hear the old timer get on the gate. He's like, yo, man, dude. I said, yo, what's up? Right? Because now I'm agitated now, right? Because the silence is deafening. So I said, yeah, what's up? He said, yo, you going to rec in the morning? I said, yeah, I'm going to rec in the morning. He said, all right, I'm going to rec in the morning too. All calm and cool. All you heard all night was knives sharpening, my whole crew. Everybody planning an attack. You see kites flying all over the place. And he sees it. So when we come out to go to rec, keep like rec in the morning, yeah, they take you to rec like 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. The sun ain't even up yet. So when we get to yard, me and my crew was in the back. We waiting for the old timer to spin around the yard. He comes by himself. So it's like me and 6 of my friends over there. So he comes around, and the way he did it was crazy. And I took that from him. I jacked that. He came up to her and just gave orders, like direction, like he was the leader of the crew. He said, this is me, he pointed to. He said, you come with me, the rest of y'all stay here. Like, he know my friends. He don't even know these guys. So he said, me and you gonna take a walk, the rest of y'all stay right here. So I walked with him, and the rest of my friends stayed there, and me and him spent the yard for like a half an hour. The things that he was telling me, he was saying, listen, man, these kids will follow you. I'm a kid too, myself too, but I'm learning. I read a lot, I'm ambitious.
Yeah.
So he said, these kids will follow you to the end of the world, bro, and it's crazy that you in prison, right? You can't be in here leading recklessly because you may not make it home, and they definitely ain't gonna make it home because they follow you like that. You know what I'm saying? He said, you gotta become a better leader because it's natural for you. In order for you to be a better leader, you gotta read about leaders. And and he put all the other old timers that were just watching me being a young knucklehead, because he's known throughout that veteran community. So he put all the old timers on, and they all started giving me literature. You know what I'm saying? All the OGs started giving me mad material, tapes. I used to have a cassette tape player where you had to wind the cassette player up to play the tape, because it didn't take no batteries, because they wouldn't allow us to have plugs in when these guys were. When I was there, they let us to have plugs, but that's how long they've been in the prison, that they couldn't even have electrical appliances back then. They had to wind up and let the energy generate, you know what I mean, from the plated device. So yeah, they started giving me all this literature, all these books and stuff, and quizzing me on it, making me go to their classes, which is reason why for like the last, I want to say 23, 24 years of my bid, I was a whole facilitator. I filled up auditoriums and classrooms, every denomination of religion you could think of, and every inmate organization that's authorized, from Caribbean African Union to ACO, African Cultural Organization, to EAO, European American Organization. That's the white boys. To Latin Unidos, that's all the Hispanic. I taught all these, and I'm talking about just taught their classes some nonsense, more history about their culture than they even know, because I'm reading all this material. Yeah. Right? I've been reading all this, and I did 16 years in solitary confinement. My first 16 years in prison was in the box. 12 of those years of the 16, I didn't come out my cell other than go to the shower or occasional visit or to a medical call out, right? Because every time I came out to go to recreation, I got to pop on the police. I used to have long, thick locks. And every time they say something stupid about my locks, you can't talk about me, period. I'm not afraid of no people. I'm not afraid of these crackers at all, in no sense of the way, word. I would me and you, with my own kind, I would have to have a discussion, because we got to be here forever.
Right. And
then our friends is friends. We all in the blender together. Yeah. I ain't gonna be sitting here 25 years every time I see your big ass, we gotta get it popping. At some point, I'm gonna get tired of this shit. Right. And one of us go kill each other, right? So we gonna come to discussion, because I know the longevity of us, both of us doing time here. And then neither one of us we both in here for all type of crimes, murders, and me particularly murder. You don't want to give me that mad, go home and look for your peoples. And you look for mine, we ain't gonna do all that. So I'd rather have a discussion with you where we could quell that. Let's de-escalate that. For sure. Because this is gonna be a lifetime Hatfield and McCoy type of war, black on black. I'm not here to promote that. How I'm gonna be doing that when I'm passing out black literature? I'm talking about Huey, black liberation, and I'm talking about let's cut the Crips. Right. Don't play that. We ain't doing none of that. I wasn't with that color begging.
Yeah, so pretty much it sounds like you led by example.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So for the young people who are listening, who want to put themselves in those leadership roles, who are 3 leaders, if you had to just, because I know you had many, but you had to just narrow it down to 3, who are 3 leaders that you would encourage others to look up to kind of follow in the way how they led? All
right, see, now you put me in a sticky situation, because the others that, when you say others, there's a lot of people that haven't been where I've been in the spaces, the places I've been to. So that list not gonna be the same list. Because I can mention some men that history that hasn't been recorded. Mm. Dead ass. I can mention some names that history, their name has not been recorded in social history. Let's put it that way, right? Because they I don't want to name. Listen, it's a lot of the names, the historical names, that I don't have respect for no more. Mm. Because I've been through way more trials and tribulations than them. Right. Trust me. So I don't want to be disrespectful to my people so I'm gonna name the names that I want to name. I'm not gonna pick the names that everybody would think I would pick. Malcolm is definitely number one on the list, right? So if a popular name, it would definitely be Malcolm X.
Got it.
Because Malcolm and Malcolm X is gonna lead to, when you go to him, he gonna lead to Marcus Garvey.
Absolutely.
That's a Garveyite, repatriation, period. I wrote a TV series about that. I don't want to put the plot out so nobody jack it. You know what I'm saying? But however, so on the popular, what we know commonly as black leaders, black heroes, I'll pick Malcolm because Malcolm gonna lead to Marcus Garvey, right? That's all I got for the popular.
Okay.
Nobody else, right? I respect, but I don't jack everything. But let me name the names that that the outside world.
Yeah, for sure. Get them to shine, man.
For those who did time in here from your juvenile days to your recent days, K.O. Smitty. K.O. Smitty is a legend behind that wall. And not for violence on other prisoners. He had 2 fights in prison, and they were boxing matches that were allowed to get in the ring in Greenhaven when they had boxing in prison. K.O. Smitty used to be Muhammad Ali's sparring partner.
Oh, wow.
Right? You seen the movie where Denzel Washington played in Jersey, when he played the boxer, the fighter in Jersey, Hurricane Carter?
Hurricane Carter, yeah, I've seen Hurricane.
It's an old movie, right? Well, K.O. Smitty is Hurricane Carter for New York State Prison. Well, Hurricane Carter was for Rawway Prison in New Jersey as a boxer, and he was innocent. He stood his ground, and he wouldn't let the prison conform. He didn't apply by none of their rules, nothing. Not even squatting, searches, material. And they put him in the cell and just left him there with all his amenities. They gave him a lot of amenities, but when the jail was awoke, he fell asleep. So while the jail, during the daylight hours, while the jail is in operation and everybody's out and about, he's sleeping in the dark. So their day was his night, and their night was his day. You know what I'm saying? So, but K.O. Smitty is the Hurricane Carter of New York, right? This man his principles and his standard is like biblical, right? I'm talking about like Mosaic, Moses-like. And he taught me a lot. Then you got Mo Zulu, the old timer that snuffed me, right? It's a part of self. The old timer that snuffed me, his own standards are impeccable. You know, I got Lumumba, another one that raised me in the penitentiary. He's the reason why I have thousands of books in my possession. I had at least 3,000 books in prison. I lost libraries, Lumumba, because I went to his cell one day to bring him a bowl of food in Clinton, and I never been to his cell before. So when I brought him the bowl of food, I looked and the whole cell is just a wall of books. It made the cell even more compact because he got all these books. And so I said, yo, police didn't take all these books out of here. He said, nah, they know better than touch my books. I said, you ain't read all them books. He said, yeah, I read them all. So he said, pick a book. I'll pick a book way at the bottom because there's a wall of books. He scoops the book out, tells me to open it while he's eating his bowl of food. And so I take the book off the bars and I open it, and the book is read. To this day, I do the same thing that he do with my books. He will take a book and he will revise it and prove the author wrong, and then like shepherdizing a case and tell you what book to read, what page to go to, and what paragraph to prove that what this author said is wrong. All his books were like that. They were tattered, you know, from the oil on his finger. You could see the pages. He highlighted them. He got little footnotes written all around the thing. To this day, all my history books are like that, right? But that's inspiration. So those are the men that inspired me, because that's where I grew up at. I didn't grow up out here in society. I read about all the greats. And then when I read their stories and the things that I was going through, I'm like, oh man, that was a cakewalk. That's all he did? That's all that happened? Literally, not that, I'm serious. I'm talking about when it came to being tortured and abused, you know what I'm saying, denied, or near death. So I'm like, man, a lot of these dudes did some easy time behind enemy lines. He definitely ain't did it like me. You know how ill you got to be for Attica to say, don't bring this man back here no more? for Clinton. Attica's historic. Remember, they made a whole movie. Attica, hot soup, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's like, so, you know how ill you got to be for the people go around and protest and talk about Attica, Attica.
Yeah.
That's a protest march rant, chant. So, but I've been banned from that type of prison. That prison particularly twice. Okay? So, it's me reading a lot of the, you know, what we say heroes, when I look at they story of abuse from the enemy, and yes, they definitely spread the message, but they wasn't as abused as I was. I was Nat Turner abused, Denmark Vesey type of shit. Okay, being survived, and we'll do it tomorrow morning. We broke up the day and get up tomorrow morning, lick my rooms, and get right back in the blender.
Yeah, definitely, man. So far, you know, your story, some words that I could think of is just resilience, right? Being able to go through what you went through and still persevere to this day. I haven't read as much books, but just being a young man and reading books like 48 Laws of Power, Mastery, I felt like I knew everything. I was 18, 19, feeling like I was smarter than the world. What would you attribute, or could you give us your top 5 self-help books?
Okay, yeah, see, that's a great question. Okay, my top 5 self-help books is one by Naeem Akbar, The Change the Images of Psychological Slavery.
Say that name again. I really want them
to. Naeem Akbar, N-A-I, is N-A-I, yes, N-A-I-M, with that little hyphen on it. After there is Naeem Akbar. You just Google him. But he changed the images of psychological slavery. And his books are not big in volumes. They small. The book might be 120 pages, but it's compact, right? And he deal with the black psyche. So that would be my first book to start off with. Another one would be the Sister Shahrazad Ali on Understanding the Black Man.
Understanding the Black Man.
That right there, that's another great book to read too, right? A lot of black women don't jack her, but they jacking her today though, because she speaks about that old traditional black love, how the black man and the black woman can relate to each other post Willie Lynch. Because we know it was grand design to turn us inside out, literally, to turn us against each other. And this sister has seen the remnants of Willie Lynch, how it had pre-mated black culture into the black relationship. And she wrote 2 books, for Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman and the Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. Both of us need to read that. I need to reread that now, because when I read it, I wasn't in a relationship, I was in prison. I told you I went there at 19 and came home at 54 years old. I don't know how to do relationship. I don't know how to argue with a woman. That book probably would have helped me now. In fact, me talking to you, I'm having a
flashback.
Oprah Winfrey, aha moment, right? Because now that I think about it, I read that book twice, but I was in prison. I went to prison at 19. I ain't had no girlfriends. My girlfriends, they last 2 weeks. I was sticking move. I like you. I love you. Okay, please. Give me, all right, see you later. Where you friend at? That's that type of shit. Yeah. I was a stick and move kid. I was 17, 18. Only had 2 summers in the street. My 17th and 18th year summer, I turned 17 in the street and 18 in the street. From like 12, 13, 14 to 15, all those summers I missed because I was in either in a group home or a DFY. So when I got time for a girlfriend, you know what I'm trying to say? I was lucky if I had someone when I was a teenager. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? But now coming home after 32 years, a total of 37 years, I did 5 years before I did the 32. So 37 years as an adult, I've been, from a teen to adult, I've been incarcerated. So I've got way more, I got teen amount of years in the street. I got decades behind bars. So yeah, I need to read that Black Man's Guide to Understand the Black Woman again. So let me go, I'm gonna have to go back and read that again too, because I'm gonna learn some things with it. But so that's 3 books. So the 4th one will be, they came before Columbus. Let's start there.
They came before Columbus.
Ivan Van Sertima. That shows, today you see it all on TikTok, how they say, this is Egypt. America and that the Indians that we know, they Siberians. They Mongolian extract. They walked across the Barren Straits, which we see like it's Russia. They're coming through Alaska and Canada. When Sarah Palin say, I can see Russia from my house. Literally, Russia is less than 100 miles across literally from Alaska, Russia, right there. It's not even 50 miles of water between that. So that's where the Indians that we think is Indians, they came from out of the Barren Straits, walked across the ice from out of Asia. They Mongolian extract. So, but you see it all on the internet. You see how a lot of us, what didn't come here on slave ships, a lot of us been here. Them pyramids and them stone faces and them all in South America, that's Upper Africa. Do the Pangea, do the planet breaking up. You see when you look at the map, all them pieces look like they can put together. Shit, Brazil look like a little small version of the continent of Africa. That look like face to face. You put it together, it's all one big mass land Pangea. Google it. Don't look at it. Don't take it from me. Ask Alexa to tell you. Maybe you're jacking if she tell you.
Shout out to Alexa. But definitely, man, great books, great insight.
That was 4. Hold on, I got one more book.
You got one more? What's
book. Yeah, the last one is I got to give it to this is a battle because you got Dr. Yusuf Ben Jakanen, which he got an entire series that's out of this world. He proved the Pope and he showed you everything. And then you got I'm gonna give you one of my favorites. I'm gonna give you Dr. Yusuf Ben Jakanen. Damn, he got so many books, bro. Just Google Dr. Yusuf Ben Jakanen. Pick anyone.
Okay.
Anyone. Okay. He wrote like 25 of them. He wrote them during the Black Renaissance when Harlem was, the culture of black culture in America. You know what I'm saying? You remember Harlem was like for the Black Renaissance. All the literature came out of Harlem, from the poetry to the who was one of the most popular poets in black culture. Start with the L. My mind is on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Langston Hughes.
Langston Hughes.
All of them, remember, they all hung out in Harlem. And Bumpy Johnson is my third cousin. I call him my uncle, but he's not my uncle. He's my third cousin. I'm a blood relative of him, direct descendant of him, family member of him. He was hanging around with them in Harlem too. Malcolm X, all those, they always a friend. That was that like I said, the Black Renaissance culture.
Right.
That's where the swag for us came out from where, we was suited and booted back then. We wasn't wearing hoodies and Timbs and all that back then.
Right. So the foundation, man, you had the true foundation of what it takes to be a black leader. I'm surprised no Robert Greene. No Robert Greene in your top 5?
Oh yes, I read Robert Greene.
As an author.
Well, he was new to me because why I named the ones there? Because before I got to Robert Greene, the Cheikh Anta Diop and all of them I was reading first.
Okay.
Because I was reading books in the street, but they were like regular history books. My mother had the Encyclopedia Britannica. She had the one for white America, and then the ones, the A to Z for all the black culture in there. I read all that. Even when I was on punishment, she used to make me read them books. And then when I wasn't on punishment, I just still read it. Now she can't use the book as punishment no more. She walked past us. I was like, I ain't finished reading it. But yeah, that's a great author, but I read way before it. I read other material before him.
Okay.
That was more impressive. That really, I'm talking about as far as like digging my toes in the dirt as far as getting rooted. Cause I found power in knowing that we were the first people. You know what I'm saying? The first to do everything.
Yeah, no, for sure, I could imagine.
Especially because I'm behind enemy lines where the power that all the abuse is coming from a white face. So I got to read some literature. I read some literature. It's like, man, you can't do this to me. You know who I am. Let me remind you.
Right. So it gave you that empowerment. So, Mandu, I want to speak to. Let's speak to the 9-to-5ers, right? The young adults who are in college, who are graduating. Let's speak especially towards those who are interested in criminal justice, right? Because they may not be aware of all the abuse that are going against the people of our skin color, right? But they're in college and they're just looking at it as a pathway to finance, as a pathway to wealth. It's just a career. What do you say to those young men and women who are of our skin color who want to get into those careers that systematically abuse our kinfolk?
Well, it's crazy that you asked me that question. When I first came home, I was down with a group called Vocal. My first week home, I joined the organization, fresh out the organization, and I was living in the shelter when I did it too. I was living in Randall's Island and Ward's Island in Help Sec. And again, I'm living in the shelter when I first came home, and then what did I do? I was fighting for my brothers that's in the penitentiary. And I came out one day, it was one of the members, they had their black hoodies on with vocal on it, Voices of Community Activists and Leaders. That's what it's an acronym for. So, and I seen the sisters in them handing out the literature, so I'm waiting for the bus. So one of them came and handed me the literature, and I read it for. I said, oh, this, I just got out of prison last week. She said, yeah. I said, oh, so this is what y'all fighting for to get rid of the box and all prison abuse? I said, oh yeah, I definitely can speak to that. You want to know who I am? So I told her, and I joined them. And I was down with Holt. That's the get rid of the box, which they don't have the box in New York State Prison no more, which is great.
Right.
Because I was getting 5, 10, 15 years. I tell you, I did 16 years in the box. I got friends that did 20 years and more in the box. So as soon as I got her, I joined Vocal, and Vocal, I got paid to speak at the Brooklyn Law School.
Oh, wow.
Right there, downtown. So I'm talking about, and that was my 3rd week home. Imagine if you go to my page, you see me on it. You see, I posted it. I posted the entire, the professor is the one that's got my phone and she's recorded me, right? So, and I was still big then. So I'm telling, it's all young lawyers and Proctor DA, they all going into law. And I'm talking about, these are young kids, all day. I'm talking about black, Asian, white, they mix. It's like, there's a diversity. And they allow me to, I'm going to speak the way I want to speak anyway, so that part. So I'm speaking to them and I'm looking at all these young faces, and I told them straight up, I say, yo, listen, it's a breath of fresh air to see this young generation to come into this field, right? But when you come into this field, what I want you guys to be aware of is all the long in the tooth old heads that's in here. The antiquated ones that's in here that dog my communities in New York. I want y'all to know that. And I recommended Michelle Alexander's book to them. In fact, I recommended my graphic novel, which Michelle Alexander gave a comment on. She said for all the people who couldn't read her book, on the new Jim Crow, that my graphic novel would be a good way to read it if you couldn't understand what she was talking about.
It's a major cosign.
I broke it down. I broke it down in Ebonics. And not only Ebonics, I broke it down because the image is there. It's a graphic novel, so it's graphic. So all the things that I'm talking about, I'm showing you the images of. Yeah. If I'm speaking brutality, I'm showing you a picture of brutality. And it's a drawing. It's not just a picture. It's a picture that me and my friend drew. I was in prison when I made the graphic novel. I ain't got no access to the internet to be copying and pasting images to put a face or image to my words. I want you to not only hear what I'm saying, I want you to see what I'm saying. That's why I put the visual. So on my page, so I'm speaking to these young kids, right, basically, and I'm telling them just how horrible New York law system is, the injustice that is done historically. And it's not even to me. It's done some things to me, but I'm not speaking, oh, this is what it did to me. Oh, no, I don't want to be a disgruntled abusee. Right? So, but I'm speaking to what is done in general, the history, the ugly history that New York law has. And I'll tell them, don't go in there and follow that tradition. Don't go in there and get behind that tradition. You guys want to, because remember, your generation is the one to come with inclusion, and everybody should have rights to do this and rights to do that and think this and think that, as long as you ain't hurting no damn body, right? So I want you to keep that fresh mentality. I want you to keep all that bubbling, those ideals bubbling. Don't go in there and let these, because they've been in there 30 years and 40 years, and they got the white hair, and they tell me, I've been doing this 40 years, sonny. He's going to give you 40 years of racism. Right. Compact. It's going to be condensed. And then you're going to do everything in your power to appease them because you just coming into the office. And then they're going to split y'all off. They ain't going to power all of y'all little young new thinkers together so y'all can mutiny. They're going to start parsing y'all out, 2 of y'all over here, 3 of y'all in this lot, where y'all can't galvanize go against the old administration. So I warned them that. So in other words, I'm giving them marching orders to go in there to rebel against them, right? And I did it vigorously. You go to my page, you'll see it. It's way back. Like I said, it was 5 years ago when I first came home. That was in 2020, matter of fact. It was December 2020, because I came home November 17th, and like I said, it was like my first or second week home. So it's November or December 2020, you would see me at the Brooklyn Law School saying what I'm doing now.
Yeah, that's amazing, my brother. And also just imagine, I could only imagine just coming out of prison to COVID. So it's like from one dilemma to the next.
Yeah, but for me it was dope because I hope I took the shot I took all this shit just to get outside because when I came to say if you don't take that, because I was going to the gym every day. Every day I was going. I'm still in Planet Fitness. I've been in the gym for 5 years since I've been out. I go to work. I work out every morning except for Saturday and Sunday. It depends if I'm stressed. I'll sneak up in there too. Yeah. However, but yeah, I took the stupid ass COVID shot because I wanted to come out. I just came out of prison. You know what I mean? I'm like, if that ain't kill me, give me an aspirin, I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still here.
Right.
But no, I came out during COVID. But like I said, I wasn't locked down. I was outside because I had the card, and they had when I came home in November 2020, they were just opening up the city. They were just opening up the stores and all that stuff. As long as you had remember, they had everybody walking around with the car. As long as you took the jab and the booster, you was all right. You was able to go there.
For sure. So, you spend over...
And I had and COVID freedom was way more freedom than I had in prison. So, as far as I'm concerned, y'all felt locked down. To me, I was free as a bird.
Right. But, you spend over 3 decades in prison. You come out, you immediately get active within the community.
Immediately.
You're advocating, you're on community boards, you're getting recognition, so on and so forth. You gave us some good books that we could look into. Yeah. When can we expect the Mandu Warrior book?
Okay, well that's already written. I just haven't published it.
Okay.
People always telling me I recorded the day I got out of prison. I had my brother when he came to me. I said, "Yo, make sure you got the camera on me when we come out. I need that footage because I'm only gonna do this one time. It ain't like let me get a repeat and go back to jail and let me go get the footage of me coming home from prison after 30 plus years. No, right. It's only gonna happen one time. But in that video, you see me coming out with 2 big prison draft bags. My brother got one. That's real history books that's out of print. I gave a bunch of books left behind to my peers and my comrades, but these books are out of print, and I was not leaving them in there. I brought them home with me. And the other big draft bag is all history book that I wrote called Bricks. Like 6 plays, 4 TV series, a cartoon series, a comic strip called Uncle Do that I had in the National Black newspaper for 2 years while I was in prison in the Bayview newspaper. That's a spinoff of the Black Panther newspaper. They based in Oakland, California. They in San Francisco. And but now that the Oakland, they in San Francisco. You say, I don't know. Is San Francisco, Oakland the same fucking place? And I ain't from California. I think it is, right? Either way.
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's Northern California.
Let us know in the comment section.
Yeah, let us know. Put it in the comment section, right? But still, I had the Uncle Dude comic strip in there for 2 years. It was mad controversial. It got banned in North Carolina, banned the Uncle Dude comic strip. In fact, they gave me a letter and everything. It's called the Department of Public Safety. Sent me a letter while I'm in the box and banned my comic strip and said that my very first issue, this is the first issue that's in the paper, and said they banned it because it was racist. And why they banned it and said it was racist because the character used the word cracker. Right? So I definitely made another comic strip to clap back. This comic strip talked about Dalen Roof. That's the white boy that went in there and shot the black people in the church in that very state.
Wow.
And mind you, he was all on YouTube, all on Facebook with the same gun that he went in there and shot 9 black people with, and he had a manifesto talking about how he hate niggas.
Right.
And how black people need to die and all this other shit.
Right. Did you read it? Because I read they released his diary online.
I read it. I'm speaking of the thing that I'm speaking about. I seen crazy. The video. I seen the what he said on Facebook with the manifesto. What you read was what he spoke. I read the transcript, but that transcript is what he spoke in the video with the weapons that he had. He was in the video. He had a projector all on the wall with the manifesto up there, and he's talking to his other crew, whoever his viewers are. But however, before he did that was known. They seen that.
Yeah.
Where was the Department of Public Safety? Where was his fucking letter telling him to take that down, that was some racist shit? I drew a comic strip and made my character say cracker 3 times, and you gonna tell me you gonna ban this from this state? So my clapback was another comic strip addressing that through the comic strip. Through another strip with the characters addressing that issue. And the issue was, where was Dalen's Roof letter from the Department of Public Safety from North Carolina when he post him prior to him going inside there and shooting all them black people, non-black people in that church? He was just up on all on social media of a month before that, threatening black lives.
Yeah.
Right? So of course they didn't get back to me. See, this is my brother locked up in jail calling me again to get him out. It's another person. He got a big case. I'm helping a lot of them. Like I said, you see, I'm wearing we definitely got to speak about my brother.
Yeah, for sure. Let's segue into Baby Sam. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what's going on in that situation.
Okay, well, for those who don't know Baby Sam is a Brooklynite. Baby Sam was wrongly convicted for by 30 cops, Officer Scott Seller. Now, not to get you could go and read his whole case on the internet. You can go to his site, right? And as I said, let me just give you, he's wrongfully convicted. The site is check it out on standwithbabysam.com.
Standwithbabysam.com. I'll post it in the description below.
Thank you very much. Yeah, standwithbabysam.com and go to change.org because he has a petition.
Okay.
You need 10,000 signatures. And we definitely get, Brooklyn definitely gets Brownsville, East New York, because that's where he's from, Brownsville. He's a Brownsville, East New York legend. And there's a lot of old timers that still live in that section. So they don't know about, everybody know that he was home for 3 years. Mm-hmm. He did 33 years. They let him home for 3 years. He was out here 3 years working. He's working with my nonprofit, TMK. He's working with us. In a lot of the videos you see me with the green hoodies with the kids and all that in the school, that's a nonprofit organization. I got an acting program called Changing Community Norms Through the Arts. Because I was doing Shakespeare. I had gangsters in prison doing Shakespeare for like 4 years. Real Shakespeare. We wasn't dumbing it down. We was using the thus, thou. We was using the real language. I played major roles. So I came home. I knew that the acting in the arts. We did hood plays, of course, but we did Shakespeare. We did talent shows. I did. I'm the one. Me and my man Scabby, we put this together, and we got all the population to engage in it. Right? That's Marshall. But we like I said, I know the arts. I know that was therapeutic for us. Like I'm talking about big homies on stage performing for our peers. Yeah. And I know what it did to their minds, because at the end everybody was like, yo, I didn't think I could do that shit, dude. Yo, you know, it took them to another level, and I love to see that. Right? I'm experienced at the same time too, because I wasn't no actor in the street. Maybe I was a stick-up kid. You gotta put some acting in it. You don't want to shoot everybody that you rob. Right. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta put on a performance. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's why I was so good with it. But Baby Sam was with us. He was running around with us with the nonviolence. He was running around with us doing the violence interrupters. He was doing a shooting response with us. The last shooting response we did was on Boulevard Houses. Baby Sam was in there with us on boots on the ground, on the front line. We had book bag giveaways. He donated money for that. In fact, because we told him we had enough book bags. He just wanted to feel that he wanted to contribute. Yeah. So what he did, he went out and took $1,000 and bought $1,000 worth of book bags, which was a lot of book bags, because the book bags were cheap. So he came in and bought a bunch of book bags that he didn't want to just hand out other people's stuff. Right? Because I said, yo, Baby Sam, we giving out book bags over here. We giving out school supplies. Why don't you come and join us? He could come and join us, right? And get credit for handing it out, but ain't none of that come out of his pocket. He felt that he wanted to contribute something, not more than just time. Yeah. And riding another person's bandwagon. He wanted to, if he's going to be there, he want to make sure he's there because he's actually contribute to the cause. Right? That's the nature he come from. So I want people to understand we got to get him back out here. All right. So
change.org, make sure everybody goes and signs that petition. Free Baby Sam, man. But can you speak towards the case? How does that happen? How do somebody get released and then rearrested for the same crime you were saying?
Yes. Now that's crazy. The judge is on Baby Sam's side. He came home after 33 years, and the judge had looked at the evidence and overturned it, and he was and set him free. He was home 3 years on parole. The year that he was supposed to get off parole was because the district attorney, as we know, is still dirty because they're still going with the lie. The district attorney and them had 3 years for appeal. They wait till the third year. Plus the city owe him money because he's been in there 33 years. That's $1 million a year. So the year that they supposed to pay him and just, they know they can't appeal it, what they do, They re-indict him with the same evidence, same charge that the judge threw out, and put this man back in jail. Put him back in jail with the same evidence, nothing new, no newly discovered, no nothing. And the judge is beefing with the DA and them right now. Was like, what is the plays? Because the judge feels disrespected.
Yeah.
The judge feels absolutely disrespected. I made a decision here. And I'm the judge. I see all the evidence before me. So, and you're gonna bring the same evidence back and then put him back in jail with this same garbage. So it's all a waiting game. That's all it is. Because he can't be found guilty. They didn't even give him a new trial. That part. He has to put in motions to get a new trial for them to re-indict, revigorate a dead charge that the judge said is over and the man was free, and they done pump life into this, and they ain't even give the man a second trial. So that means they're not even bringing up this evidence that was. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to be talking in circles. The shit wasn't good the first time, then how's it going to be good the second time? And the judge said it never was good at all.
Just corruption, man.
It's just corruption. It's continue. And it's quiet, but they try to do it quietly, but we're not going to let it quietly. Stand with Baby Sam.
Yes, absolutely. Stand with Baby Sam. Free Baby Sam. I'll put the link in the description below. Make sure everybody goes to change.org. We sign that petition. How many signatures?
He's about. He needs 10,000. He needs 10,000 signatures. He's a little bit over 2,000, which is nowhere near enough, guys. You know what I'm saying? So standwithbabysam.com and change.org. Samuel Edmondson. Sam, you gonna put all that in there. Samuel Edmondson in there.
Samuel Edmondson. Okay,
yes.
Got it, man.
Yeah.
Mandu, I definitely commend you, for just being an outspoken individual and advocating in your community. Another thing that we saw you viral for is your intervention in Harlem. There was, a group of youngsters. They got into an altercation. Yeah. You and I believe that was a Bad Vibe. Shout out to Bad Vibes.
My homie Bad Vibes.
You guys intervened. Walk us through that situation.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to my homie Bad Vibes. That's me. I'm a Gemini, and he's an Aquarius, so that's that Aquemini thing, right? So, but me and him was in Harlem. We was hanging out in Harlem, making our rounds, and we was chilling with some friends. So we heard a roar, a crowd, just a bunch of kids yelling and screaming. They ran into the blocks, and that was noticeable. But it was like 30, 35 kids. It was enough of them for me. Like it sounded like a baseball, somebody hit a home run or something. So when we both looked and we see these kids dog piling on one girl, but they chasing her boyfriend up the block. They stabbed him already. We don't know yet. We just see two dudes with masks on, black hoodies, the pool shiesty, and they chasing this kid. He's taking off, but he's ran and left his girlfriend. And it's another group of kids, about another 10 kids they're on her. So when we jumped in the street, the two kids that chased the boyfriend, he's gone. They come back so they got help the other group jump on the girl. The girlfriend that he left. So that's when I jumped into the street and Bad Vibes jumped into the street with me. So we ran down on the kids. So we thought they had guns, but they had knives. We didn't know at first. Which we didn't give a fuck, right? So we still ran up on them because they were so close that whatever. I want to be the hero in the story. I tell you this, right? So but when they seen me and his aggression, they tucked it and took off. So I don't know. They was like, hold up, this knife. They know it wasn't guns, it was knives that they had. When they see how big me and Bad Vibes is, and we mad, even though we old, we quick and we aggressive. We prison yard. We prison dogs. We war dogs from the prison yard. You can't do nothing with us, shorty, because we wasn't out here getting high and smoking crack. I ain't spent my 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s on drugs. I was in prison. I wasn't even smoking cigarettes and smoking weed in prison. I smoke weed now because I got PTSD. So the time I was in prison, once I left Rikers Island, I wasn't getting high no more. The entire 26 years that I was in prison, because I did a few years on Rikers Island. So the 26 years that I was in upstate prison, not jail, not the holding center, I didn't get high. I been stopped getting high, because that was a weapon that dudes used to use. Plus I used to distort dudes when I was still young. So you distort them, you do the drugs, and then they go call the police, and you get a dirty urine, and you go to the box. Once I seen what that guy, there you go, trick me out of population, have me sitting in the box all day looking crazy. Right? So when we ran down and on the kids, they seen that we were a threat. So the two little boys took off. But we didn't know that the boyfriend got stabbed and the little girl got cut. They cut her across her back. When you see the video, you see me chasing the kids off the block. And when they got off the block, we went back to aid the little girl. She was sitting there, they pulled all her hair out. In the video, you can see her sitting next to a pile of hair, right? And she's beat up. But we aided her, and then the father came after we had left. But we got them to safety. We got both the kids to safety. We made sure as you can see in the video, we definitely got them to safety and made sure that it was good.
That's a blessing, man.
But when I got home the next day, the father reached out to me on Instagram, and I seen the message just like you did, and I seen the message. So I got back to the father, and he told me that he was the father of the son that got stabbed, and his daughter that the son and his girlfriend was on a date. What we seen was the second time they got hopped, because they got hopped at the roller skating rink the first time, and the kids that jumped them at the roller skating rink followed them to their neighborhood and jumped on them again and stabbed them. So the father told me what happened. He told me the details that I didn't know at the time. As again, I didn't know the girl got cut, because when she got home and disrobed, that's when she had a slash on her back. Nothing deep, but like enough for her to notice it.
Yeah.
So again, when the father told me that, I sat at my table. I was on the phone, and then I had to hang up on him. I had to hang up on him because I started getting emotional. I didn't want to cry over the phone. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought about it, I was like, damn, man, it's a good thing that me and Bad Vibes was dead, because them kids was definitely in a frenzy on that little girl, bro. And then there was other adults on the block, and none of them even went to the aid. I was like, they all just sitting there like, this is regular.
Right, just minding their business.
Yeah,
Typical
bro.
New York
so the little girl
fashion.
would have got, that's what made me cry. That's why I had to hang up on the father, because I didn't think about just me being the hero in the story and on my instinct, me and my man jumping into the blender. I'm thinking about all these dudes that were just standing there with us, grown men.
Right.
A bunch of them, and they didn't even come off the sidewalk. Even when we chased the kids down, it was just me and my homeboy and the two cameramen. So I'm saying, damn, bro, if we wasn't there, they'd parked that little girl, bro, because they was enough of them on her. And if they was already slicing and dicing her, they would have been still hitting her. Them slicing and dicing would have got them some poking. If me and you didn't intervene. If we ain't wild out and I ain't had this thunderous voice, what the fuck would have happened to Shorty?
Right.
Nah, that ain't a good thing. So that made me emotional. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then it made me emotional. It made me know that this is a sign from when I was in them cells praying to God, like, yo, if you get me up out of here, man, I swear to God, boy, I swear to you, I'm going to do right.
And you're keeping that promise.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's it. Yeah. It's giving me my virility. You know what I'm saying? Me sticking to that covenant I still got the energy. I'm 58 years old, but in my mind, I still got 19-year-old energy. And then when I go to the gym with my partners and them, they don't work out with me. They go in their own corner. Not to blow my boy up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say your name, but he know it. But my energy, he said, yo, dude, you energize a bunny, man. I don't stop. I don't take no breaks.
Right. And, and again, I definitely commend you. This black leadership is what we need to see more in the algorithm and not just the drama.
Thanks.
But let's just also segue. You do have lineage tied to the Bloods, right?
Yes.
New York City. We see how hip hop has capitalized off of street stories, jail stories,
culture, period, yeah.
over sensationalizing it. And that's actually how I came across your content, right? That viral video with you bashing Jim Jones, so on and so forth. But, just speaking to like your leadership and how you're demonstrating yourself and how you're conducting yourself in the streets today, what do you say to those younger Blood members who kind of just lost in the sauce?
Like I said, I work with a lot of them in the street in my organization. So a lot of the things that I'm saying ain't just for the camera. Ain't just for the microphone. A lot of the things, I'm doing the things that I'm speaking about. But what I tell my little homies and them, because the things that they see me do, I was like, yo, this is an analogy that I give them. If you get on a plane, big old jumbo jet, right? And you see the pilot and the co-pilot quietly just open up the cockpit, got a life parachute on, and they just come, while you sitting there watching the TV doing what you're doing on the plane, and they open up the door and jump out. What are you gonna do? Because it's obvious the plane is going down. It's obvious something wrong with the plane. Because you just seen the men flying the plane, the captain of the plane and the co-captain of the plane. These are two OGs, the Godfather and the OG, just abandoned ship.
Right.
Jumped out. Because the plane ain't flying right. So it's obvious you need to jump out too. So when I tell them, I say, when you see a lot of OGs that still stand up, we talking about that still got their sturdiness about them, still grounded. If you see them, you need to go ask them why they laid that down, why they stepped out. Go find out why they abandoned, why they took the parachute and jumped out the plane. Because it's obvious that something ain't right. When you see the leadership that's still sturdy, they ain't get chased out or ran out. Just say relinquished it and let it go. You need to go ask that OG, what's up with that? What's up with you, OG? What's happening? And let him tell you some things. Let him tell you some stories that he don't want to put on the internet. Let him tell you some things that he gonna say, bro, it wasn't even worth it. Dead ass. And show you how you get used and abused too. No matter whether you are OG, a godfather, or a little homie a soldier trying to put it in. Everybody from the top to the bottom get used. Because the big homies in them get used for their name too. Because a lot of the ones that's running around doing sucker shit, they gonna use his name like a credit card. What? You know I'm on his lineup and I did this and I did that and I was with him over here and I was with him over there. A lot of them dudes, they weren't even tight with you like that. I got dudes that I go around, that I come behind later, and these dudes was using my name in all these fields, in all these areas, prospering. Using and abusing people too. In my name, ain't that something? That's like you say, in the name of Jesus, and you go ahead and kill somebody. What the fuck?
It's crazy.
It's oxymoron. It don't match.
Yeah.
It don't line up. It's all in waters, apples and oranges. It ain't the same. So what I say to a lot of these young dudes, man, question the leadership. Question your leadership. Ask them some things. Ask them some things that if it don't make sense to you, then it's time for you to go. Find a way out. And that's what the Drop the Flag challenge was from Hocus.
Yeah, shout out to Hocus 4/5.
Shout out to Hocus 4/5 for that. You know, as I said, I wouldn't have used the term, and Hocus know the lingo. So, but he named the drop the flag. That's what he wanted to call it. But he knows that, you know, it's a more respectful way. So you don't offend the people that want to stay, that don't want to leave.
Right.
You don't want them mad at you. Those were just your homies. You understand what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. So this is another term, your homie. I'm gonna respectfully retire this. I'm gonna fold this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna lay this down because I'm not built for it right now. Some people we elevate in our thinking. You know, the things that I did of yesteryear ain't the thing I'm gonna do today and tomorrow. So that's then I lead by example. I said, yo, man, you can still have your swag. You know what I mean? You know how many dudes are still cool with dudes that ain't in gangs? And most dudes that's in gangs, a lot of their best friends is non-gang members. A lot of the dudes that they actually roll with is dudes that's not in the hood that they in, not in the gang they in. I know a lot of dudes that's gang bangers and they don't even hang out with gang bangers. I mean, they're members. They're not banging. They're gang members. Because it's different. A banger is one that's going out there putting in their pay. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I know dudes that's affiliated and don't even hang with the people that they're affiliated with. Right? So if you want to get to that point, the young brothers need to be looking at that. They listen, then this dude been down with this many years, he don't even hang with us. What's up? It's some questions that need to be asked to the dudes that's in position of authority and rank, and it's some questions that you need to ask yourself too. You know what I mean? Can I be able to survive and move around this neighborhood without joining the damn gang? Right? Because you joined the gang today, you joined it because the dudes that you joined it with, you was feeling them. Y'all was had y'all was homeboys. But you took that flag, you went somewhere else. Them same dudes that you was feeling when you blooded in, ain't the dudes that you gonna meet when you get to Attica or you get to this jail or you get to that block. And they don't care who brought you in. They care who your big homie is. They want to see you perform. You got to perform, boy. And that performance could cost you your life or your freedom. Is it worth it? Cause now I'm walking around with this flag on me, and I go to this neighborhood and I see some other dudes like, what's poppin', homie? And now you identify yourself, and now you gonna feel obligated to rock with these dudes. If they get into some shit, what if they get into some shit right then and there? Their ops pull up on them. If you run, you done. Even if that ain't your beef, you don't even know these homies. But you under that same thing. You flagging the same flag. So now you got they ops on you, they on you because you didn't help them pop against they op. I don't even know you. See that they see how the domino effect of failure can happen. Because you could get blamed for some shit that you had no idea. You're not even in that rank. You're not even in that order. and one go down, all of us go down. You could be the lowest man on the totem pole with the most time. That part. You said, damn man, I wasn't even getting no money. I was the slinger. I was lookout man. How the fuck I wind up with 20 years? Because there's a RICO indictment. That's what Hocus is trying to tell them. He's trying to tell them, yo, listen, the police don't care if you the smallest man on the bottom totem pole, if you getting $2 a package, and he the one that's actually got to do. They don't care. That's a RICO indictment. Everybody get locked up for a bunch of years. Okay? So, yeah, they need to question that. That was the purpose of to drop your flag.
Right.
You know what I mean? And,
Definitely.
and I supported it because I want dudes to find safe passage out of that. Right? I want them to find, and the dudes that stay, they need to follow the lessons. The lessons talk about take care of your community. Not only the people that took the oath, the community that you live in, we supposed to be the vanguards of that. You go to my page, I show you what the Bloods and Crips was doing before they started fighting each other. They was protecting each other from outside white people and white police coming in and busting them down and killing them. That's what they started from. They was the vanguard. They're the ones that stood on the borderline of their community and said, don't cross this Ave. And then what happened to that turned to now me and you can't cross the Ave. But you was the vanguard for that side of the Ave, and I'm the vanguard for this Ave. So when these agitators come through, they can't go to either way. Well, how the hell we turn on each other? You know what I'm saying? That's his story. That's not my opinion. It's his story to tell you how gangs, why black gangs started in these communities, but it got corrupt because the crack era came in, the drugs and the guns, the COINTEL, you know what I'm saying, counterintelligence program, and the Reaganomics, and so on and so on and so on. Pick up new Jim Crow, Michelle Alexander. You ain't even got to do it. You ain't even got to read the book right now. You can just go on YouTube and punch it in YouTube and read the book for you.
Right.
They give you a whole story. You can just go to YouTube, put the new Jim Crow, and you can watch a whole movie, sit back and learn some shit. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm doing. It's not what I want to do, it's what I am doing. Right? So that's the message that I got to them. And I lead by example. And a lot of them see where I'm going in life. On my brother's keeper, a lot of things, I got a film production company, and I write films for the community. Because I want to write, I wrote television series. I got a cast, but we haven't been active for the last 6 months. I got a cast called My Brother's Keeper. If you go to on my Instagram page, Big Dude from the Block, you gotta go down for maybe about 2 or 3 months. You'll see all the promos for the TV series that I was shooting. It's got gang culture in it. Okay.
And it's called
My Brother's Keeper.
My Brother's Keeper.
Yeah, and my page is Big Dude from the Block on IG. So yeah, but I'm casting. I got people from the mayor's office that's on the board in the series. Shout out to Sam.
Very nice. Very nice.
Shout out to Samantha Klein. She's the chairperson on the Mock J, Mayor's Office Community Justice, which I'm a board member, and she's in the series. So I'm talking. I got a lawyer, a whole lawyer. Shout out to Charlene. She's a whole lawyer, but I'm talking. I got lawyers and gangbangers. I got Mock J board members and gangbangers in the same TV series, doing table reads.
Look at that, man.
At the same rehearsal.
So,
out
you
of the
know.
Brooklyn District Attorney Office, out of the Brooklyn District Attorney Office, one of the persons that work there is sitting at the table read with an ex-con or retired or reformed gang member. Mm-hmm. That's dope for me, bro. For sure. And then now mind you, I wrote these stories in the cell in the box. So now it's mad videos of me getting choked up doing our table read because I'm watching these people bring the characters that was in my head alive. This shit is messing me up, bro. I'm like, okay, hold on, wait, cut. Hold on, everybody calm down. Because I'm watching, and the lead role is a 13-year-old little girl. Mm. And the community galvanized behind her. I don't want to get the plot away, but it's the bridge. The youngest is 13 in the cast, and the oldest uncle is 72. Mm. No, 68. 68. He gonna be mad. 68 years old. So I got all the ages in between from 13 to 68, and they all interact. I'm talking about all the characters. They like all the old people in this scene. The old people in this scene with young people, and they talking that talk. They getting the young perspective, and you getting the old perspective, and they meet in the middle to make something happen. And the community is progressing as a whole because they all galvanized behind the little girl's ideal. Everybody.
Very nice.
Fire.
Very nice.
Fire story. I don't want to put the plot out, but that's just, and that's in the makings right now. Tahuti Vision Productions.
Shout out to Tahuti Visions Productions.
That's the name of my production company, TahutiVisionProductions.com. You can go right on. You can just Google it and you see the whole thing. What I've been doing. You know, the type of work, the type of films and the media that I get into. I'm big on media because media was the weapon used against us. And now that they got YouTube and it's the Wild Wild West, and we can put our own content out there, we can control the narrative without going through some UCC and all this other FCC and all that other shit. You could be on pirate radio is the biggest thing right now, bro. Okay? Because it's available. I could go on my phone and just create a whole network.
Absolutely, man. Direct to consumer.
Thank you.
Direct to consumer.
Thank you. It's no more gatekeepers for that. And I love that. And that gives us an opportunity. And me, I'm the type of person, when I see an opportunity, I take full advantage of it, bro.
Yeah.
I don't like missing them because I've been in prison all my life. And I was taking advantage of the opportunities in there too. That's how I made it back out here. For sure. And I came out here prepared. So when people were suggesting, yo, dude, you need to write a book about your story. Man, you know how many books I wrote about my story? Man? I got to write a whole new book, my book of my freedom. Because everything I wrote at the post.
Right.
I ain't had no post-freedom yet. You know what I'm saying? Well, now I'm in post-freedom. 5 years in. I need to write about that. I need to write about my reentry and the adventures that I went on in the reentry, the things that I learned about society, because there's some things out here in the world that I don't like. So it ain't like, and there's some things out here that I didn't come home to assimilate in. And I'll keep those things to myself. But I definitely ain't trying to get in where I fit in every, after 32 years, the world is very different now.
For sure, and that's a great segue because you've been making a lot of impact. You've gone viral. You're making impact in the streets. You're making impact on social media. What's the end goal for you as it relates to the industry? Because you're already on Math Hoffa, millions of viewers and subscribers. Like, what is Mandu's end goal as it relates to the industry? Are you trying to break in? Do you want to create your own podcast? Are you trying to get your production company signed? Like, where are you kind of centered in? What's the focus?
My end goal is to, when it comes to the industry, as I just said, that now that we have all these outlets where we could get into media, and I know that I read thousands of books, bro, right? And one of the books that I read was about media. And, I think it was called Global 2000. This one was called Don't Blame the Public, How the Media Uses Propaganda to Manipulate Public Opinion. That's the whole title of the book. And in that book, bro, I read it 3 times. And the reason why I read it twice more after I read it the first time, I kind of got it the first time. I read it twice more because I wanted to make sure it was true. Because when I read it the first time, I said, I'm already declared war because I got caught up in that. Excuse me, brother. I got caught up in the media spell. I didn't know every record that I was listening to or everything I seen on TV was going to be kind of subconscious influential until I started reading some psychology books. Carl C. Jung and Sigmund Freud and all these people, you know what I mean? Immanuel Kant, until I started reading these guys. You know, Dostoevsky. What made me read his book? He started reading about him because Denzel Washington said in the movie, he said, yeah, Dostoevsky said. I was like, who the fuck is Dostoevsky? So I went to the library and asked the library, you never know, they said they pulled out the book of Dostoevsky, and his book was for change. Also, that change has also opened my eyes more to prison. Because it says in there, prison is a reflection of society. Because those crimes was not committed in prison. Everybody in prison, because they did some shit in society. So society's not a reflection of prison. Prison is a reflection of society. So society, if prison is fucked up, that's because society is fucked up. Because like I said, you wasn't in the bars when you committed those crimes and those offenses. Those offenses, and no matter how minor or major they were, you know what I'm saying, they were committed in society. So that's society at large. Everybody's one incident or one snap away from doing something crazy and something crazy happening to you. Everybody just one snap away. One mistake away could take away your freedom of your life. So being in those type of conditions made me think more. Maybe be more aware of what's going on around me. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes for me, in the midst of chaos, I find peace. And that's biblical. That goes to me being a minister and a priest, a Levite priest for almost 30 years with a Rasta religion, right? When it say, Jesus said, peace, be still in the storm. Remember they all was on the boat and the storm was storming and everybody was screaming and yelling out to him. He said, whoever you believe in, call out to your God. And everybody yelling out to their God on this boat because they was from all over that region. And Peter seen Jesus walking on the water. And in mind, it's a storm. We talking about this waving and waving. And Jesus said, yo, come with me. And Peter said, man, I ain't getting off this boat. You walking on water. He said, you got faith. You walk. Remember, you got off, you walked for a few steps. You heard the thundering and the lightning. That's the world making noise. Somebody, Peter, what you doing? You know you can't walk on water, boy. He lost his faith. The water itself was the influence of the world. The storm itself was the world telling you not who God made you to be. You can't endure what God put the power for you to endure. Remember, he said, through your stripes you are strengthened. Through your stripes you are healed. So when I read those type of biblical terminologies and I actually understand it and get it, it empowers me. It makes me stronger. So when the world's be trying to throw their little hooks, I'm like, you punk ass world, get your little stupid ass up out of here. Because even though I'm in the world, I'm not of it. That's what I mean when I said there's a lot of things in the world today that I'm not going to subscribe to. Right. So even though I'm in freedom, there's a lot of things about freedom that I'm not going to jack. I'm not going to offend it. I'm not going to touch it, but I'm not going to jack it either. I'm not going to become it either. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's that Christ mentality. Yeah. That's through trials and tribulations.
Well said. Great mind, Mandu. Man, we're going to need a part 2. We don't have too much time left. But for the listeners, my brother, can you just leave us with 3 gems before we wrap it up?
All right.
3 gems.
Okay, well, gem number 1, I want to tell a lot of these kids from this generation to listen to your parents. And everybody says that, right? And I want parents to actually sit down and talk to your kids too, for real. Give them some real conversations. But a lot of this generation, they need some more information that's coming off the telephone, that's coming through a scroll. They need to sit down with some of the elders in their family. Even if they got young parents, find one of your aunts and uncles, find a grandma or grandpa, have a real conversation. Ask them some questions. You see how you wrote a list of questions? They need to write down some questions about life, about things that they going through. And a lot of these old heads got some wisdom. And I'm not here to support all people, old heads, because a lot of old heads are stupid. I'm not the defender of, because all ages got some wisdom. Remember, it say out of the mouth of babes come perfect wisdom. You can learn something from young to old. I want the young people to bring the conversation to the old people because the old people are nervous. They're nervous that they're going to offend. So that's why they're not sparking up the conversation with the young generation. So nobody's talking. You understand what I'm trying to say? When I talk to these kids, they be like, oh shit, I didn't know the OG was that cool, because nobody's having a conversation. They didn't know, damn, my OG, I didn't know you was up on this and you up on that, because they think they teaching me everything. Boy, I'm studious. All I gotta do is watch YouTube and see everything you say. That when I meet you, I'll say, yeah, let you know about this. I know. My point is that. So that's one jewel. The young need to have a conversation with the old. The old need to have a conversation. They need more communication, need to build that bridge. And that's what my TV series is about too. You know what I'm saying? It's about building the bridge. My brother's keeper. It's about building the bridges to the young old. So that would definitely be the biggest, my first gem. My first gem that I'll be thanking. My first gem that I will recommend to the young people. The second gem that I would recommend is that I need my community to get more into local politics. Local politics is what's going to change what you don't like in your neighborhood. It's going to change what you want. It's not only things you don't like, it's going to change. It'll help you change the neighborhood to put some new stuff in the hood that'll help the hood too, right? And I need more kids to get involved with that. I need them to come out and get involved with more of these nonprofit organizations, because a lot of nonprofit organizations, they just deal with the kids in the immediate area, right? And it's not even all the kids, right? Because there's some kids, because the kids that's at risk don't even go to these events, right? Because they feel that they're going to get judged. And that's what I'm saying, that we need more community engagement. And for that to happen, they need more funding. And I don't even do that type of work no more. I don't want government funding for nothing that I do. Reason being, because there's too many loopholes, and you can't talk the way you want to talk. So I'd rather not even get involved with that. I left the field, but I still speak for it, right? I still encourage people to get involved with it. It's just that I just can't be governed, right? Because I'm governed by God, not man, right? And I follow the laws of God, not man. So that part.
And then the last gem for the people.
The last gem is finances. We need more money.
We need to be more financially literate.
We definitely need more financial literacy. We got a lot of these kids that got a lot of ideals. We need to be less consumers and more
producers.
More producers. That's a definitely gem, man. I'll finally go. Without that, you can't go to Tupac said it. You can't go to war when you get your money right. So I got my money right, then I can go to war. You can't go to war. We ain't talking about a physical. You ain't got to be a physical war. We talking about psychological war, financial war. You know, it's war on every level you can think of. So yeah, we definitely need more financial literacy. We need more kids. We need to support our brand too, because we got a lot of these kids with they got stuff out. They got material out. They got music out. They got fashion out, right? But we'll go buy some weirdo shit. But we don't want to buy Ray Ray with the dope. He got his material good too. I like the little sweatsuit he put together. How much you charging? Go ahead and buy one. Post that. You'll post Gucci. Gucci don't know nothing about you. You don't know nothing about Gucci. You'll post a $5,000 pair of jeans for somebody that you don't even care about, but you all up in the video advertising these jeans. And everybody that's watching you ain't gonna buy them because they can't afford them. So why don't you just post something that's nice? We all wearing it, and let's support each other. That's my point. We need to support each other.
Absolutely, more. Absolutely. Support local. OG Mandu Warrior, it was a blessing, my brother. Thank you so much for coming up. It's the end of the show, but I hope all the listeners, I hope you got something today, man. It was a lot of gems, a lot of wisdom. Thank you for coming. I know the weather is crazy, but you're a man of your word, and I appreciate you. No doubt. Definitely inspired by the work that you do. And myself, just a member of, like, you know, the college community. We need to have more of these conversations. Yeah. We need to connect. And you know,
that's dope. You know, we can talk off air because, like you say, you limited, but we go in the future. I want to do something where with the college brothers and the brothers from the hood, right? And I don't like the label of that, but because they're not in the same space and place. With that, just that fraternity there, we want the street fraternity to get with the collegiate fraternity. Absolutely,
man.
You know what I'm trying to say?
We got to converse.
We always say gangs is like a fraternity. Right, so let's just go get real brothers that's in the collegiate fraternity that got some information that they could share with us, and we got some ideals that they could give us some information to turn into some money. So we need to have that bridge. We need to have those softballs or basketball games just to have a conversation or brotherhood dinners or picnics, whatever we could come up with. I mean, I could just go on for days, bro. But we definitely need to build that bridge.
Yes, absolutely, man. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. You already know Coffee with Charlie Season 2. Make sure you go to change.com, free Baby Sam. All the information will be posted on the link below, man. And again, hope you guys stay blessed.
Salute. This is Triple OG Mandu Warrior. I want to give a shout out to the best radio podcast in the city, right here in New York City. Coffee with Charlie. Shout out to my brother, man. Charlie, you're dope.
Come to the speaker now. Big up man like Coffee with Charlie. And the best reviews, the best interviews, the best guests, and the best coffee in the place. 101.9. Everybody have to get a taste. Good say that. You're deaf. Which one?